Hi, this is Leigh Ambergy, stampwithleigh.com. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Mentor, Ohio, and thank you so much for being with me today for today's video. Before we get into the card, I just wanted to go over a few things, and also that is to let you know that I have my September PDF ordering tutorial. Features the Fond of Autumn bundle, and what that is with a $25 online purchase before tax and shipping using a certain hostess code, you can receive a free PDF tutorial from me. It features 5 cards. There's full pictures, a list of all the products used, the sizes for your cardstock, and step-by-step directions on how to make that card. So again, that's for the month of September. And then I also wanted to remind you that the Perfect Partners promotion is going on. It's till the end of September or while supplies last. And what Stampin' Up! Has done is, I have two. What Stampin' Up! Has done is they have taken certain stamp sets and from the annual catalog and the current mini catalog and have exclusive dies to coordinate with those stamp sets. And the great thing is they're offering them as bundles, which saves you 10%. And you can also order separate if for some reason you had already ordered the birthday piggies and you're like, I already have the stamp set. You can still order just the dies separate. But again, it's to the end of September or while supplies last. So we're going to jump right into today's card. And it's a Halloween card, and it features the Cottage Wreath stamp set. There's also coordinating dies with that. It is offered as a bundle. And really the only die I've used from that set is this is the die for the little spider. And I have already stamped and die cut that little guy out. I'll make sure I put my die in here so I don't lose it, because I usually do. So this is a Halloween card that was made at a recent class I had. And if you're curious, and if you live in the greater Cleveland area, just click on events at the top of my blog, that tab, and that will take you over to my calendar page that shows classes that I have. So this is the glitter washi tape that's in the current mini catalog. And I had cut, for this class, I had cut extra cardstock. I knew I wanted to make a video, and unfortunately, I ran out of the pumpkin pie glimmer paper, or the glimmer tape, washi tape, glimmer washi tape. So we are going to, the green, I have plenty. I could have done this is, I think, it says it coordinates with Old Olive, but it goes really well with green apple green, pear pizzazz, parakeet party, and there was another Old Olive, I think. But I want to save this. I'm probably going to order more, but I want to save this for some Christmas cards I want to use it on. So my dilemma was, yeah, the black, I did like a trial run. The black looked okay against the black and gray, but we're going to change this one up. And so instead of using pumpkin pie as my accents, we're using Gorgeous Grape and Highland Heather. So again, this is, and we're also going to be using the, I can never remember this name, Pearlized Enamel Effects Black. And I wasn't sure how this would look on, the Gorgeous Grape or the Highland Heather ink. So what I did is I took a scrap of my basic white. And this was kind of interesting. I stamped, I don't know if you can see, I stamped this with Gorgeous Grape ink because our card today I'm substituting, instead of the pumpkin pie, I'm putting Gorgeous Grape down. And I put, and you can barely see it though, I used the black enamel dots, and you can't hardly see it because the ink is dark. So I thought, I wonder what white would look like. So I put the white, and I'm like, yeah, because this is the white, and it also comes in red, real red. So I put the white down, and I'm like, yeah, you still, and you have to let this dry, But I noticed in about 10 minutes time, the white picked up the Gorgeous Grape ink, which was like, I didn't think that would happen, but it did. So to determine what color I wanted to stamp this wreath, I pulled out a scrap, Gorgeous Grape, and I was like, the white looked okay until it started to pull up that ink into it, and then it just sort of blends in there, and you don't get a real dynamic effect. So I pulled out another scrap of basic white, and it's like the white, it did not bleed, it did not drop any of the color from the Highland Heather ink, but you can sort of see the black enamel effects. So that's what I did. I'm going to stamp the wreath in Highland Heather, and we're going to use the black, and I'm using the Gorgeous Grape washi tape. So we're just changing things out to work with what I have. All of the measurements and the products used are listed at the bottom of my blog. But what I want to do before I start in with any of this, I want to stamp my wreath. So again, like I said, I pulled out Highland Heather. And what I did is this is like what I'm calling a skinny wreath. So I stamped it. Looks kind of, skinny mini. And I just offset my stamp, just a little bit of a rotation to give it a little bit more oomph, a little bit more body to it. So that is done for that. And then what I'm going to do is, with the stylish shape dies, I've got the largest one, you're going to cut that out, because this pearlized enamel effects takes a while to dry. You need to have that set, let it set. And at class, I kept meaning to try it, I never did, and then finally I said, okay, we're going to do it. I grabbed a piece of basic white cardstock. Stuff's wanting to fall over, I'm sorry. And I used a heat tool with it. And the heat tool, the heat with this, sort of caused it to ooze out and blob. So normally when I do something like this, I would put my dots on here, and then I would just set this aside and walk away from it and come back to it maybe later in the afternoon the next day when I know it's completely dry. At the class, I did have a little tiny fan, so we put the fan onto it, and it dried it probably in about 10 minutes time, but it wasn't completely dry. So when you are using this, just please make sure you set it aside, give it plenty of time to dry so that you're not smooshing up something and then getting frustrated or upset. So what I'm going to do is cut this out with the largest of the stitched stylish shape dies. I'm going to run that just through my mini emboss so that I don't have to get up and go use the big one, because I'm just too lazy to cart the big one over here. So there's our what I'm calling my Halloweeny wreath. Bring this back just for reference. Get rid of this. Oh, I do need my fan still. So now what I'm going to do is, where's my boo? Stamp my boo, and that's Memento. And I just grabbed a little ink spot instead of my great big ink pad. So which way do I want my wreath and my boo? I kind of... I really want this section here to be like maybe where my bow is. So I'm just going to stamp my boo down here in the corner. Yay! That's done. And then what I'm going to do is put my enamel, pearlized enamels. And if you haven't used these, the first time you use them, I would suggest that you kind of play around with it on a scrap piece of paper. I kind of put this where I want it to go, and then like squeeze it out, and it can sort of has a mind of its own, or at least that's what I'm telling myself when I goober it up, that it was the enamel effects, not me. And again, how much you squeeze on the squeeze bottle, that's going to determine how much comes out. And you can put as much or as little of this on as you want. Sometimes I get a little carried away. So, I know this looks like it's sitting here watching me do this. Like I always say, it's probably more boring than watching paint dry on the wall. But I'm just going to keep going around. And again, you want to make sure that you give this plenty of time to dry. And I know my bow, I want it over and through here, but just in case, not sure. I will not be putting this on the card for this filming because this needs to dry. So what I'm going to do is just set that aside, but I just wanted to show you how I'm changing this up with the colors. So now we're going to get back to this, and I have basic white card base, 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half and burnished with my bone folder. And then all I'm going to do is take my washi tape, and you know what? Here's my silicone mat, just so the washi tape doesn't stick. And you know, try to be even, but I'm not obsessed. If I don't get something exactly straight, I don't obsess about it. I'm like, it is what it is. And I do have silicone scissors, just so that I'm lazy, just so I don't have to clean my scissors. This, and then what I'm going to do is just butt this up to each other. If it ends up one piece overlapping, I mean, it's no big deal. So, but anyway, like I said, if something has glue or adhesive on it, I like to pull out a pair of silicone snips. Like I said, just because I'm too lazy to always constantly clean my Stampin' Up! Paper snips. Oh, and that one's running low too. But enough for this card. So all I do is just fold this over. You could cut that even at the bottom if you want, but I find that sometimes washi tape has a tendency to start lifting up. So I just, if I can, always just wrap it around. It's just my preference. Okay, so I'm going to put adhesive, and you know me, I am use the adhesive you're most comfortable with. I am not comfortable with snail. I prefer a diamond dot type pattern with my adhesive. It goes back to when I first started scrapbooking, and that's what I'm just comfortable with. So use whatever adhesive you are comfortable with using. I'm going to put that down on our gorgeous grape, and then we're going to put this on our card base. So that's our card. And I think that turned out, it looks kind of spooky. But what we're not going to finish with, but like I said, I already have my little spider. And that was on, did I have basic gray or smoky slate? Smoky slate. And I have the, what is this? Metallic mesh ribbon. So again, I want to move this out of the way so I don't get anything on that. And this stuff, yeah, it's really wide, but it's thin. I love this ribbon. So I just kind of scrunch it up so I can work with it. Make a bow. And I love this ribbon because, like I said, once you've scrunched up to make a bow, you can kind of play with it and pull it apart. And yeah, it kind of like fans itself out. So let me get this off of here. Then all I did was took a glue dot and I put that on the back of my spider. In the center of that spider. Come on. There we go. And then I put that on where the knot is on my bow. And then what I will do is take another glue dot onto the back of here, put this onto my wreath on here where I want, and then just trim my tails off on this. And that's it. So, you know, that is my Halloween card I'm sharing with you. And to show you, like, you know, I didn't have enough, but I figured out, hey, let's just change up the colors and do something a little bit different. So tomorrow morning when I come back in here and this is dried, dimensionals will go on the back of here and it'll go down on my card. And then I will pop with a glue dot my my spider bow onto the side. So that's today's card. I hope you have enjoyed it. Have a wonderful day. Bye.